Hi everyone, so today I'm going to be doing a haul from a small business on Etsy called Bootsnmascara. The owner's name is Angela. She also has a YouTube channel, and I'll link it in the description box below. I originally wanted to do an unboxing haul, but I kept getting interrupted, so the package is already opened. So anyways, Angela had recently released her Christmas/holiday scents for 2024, and I decided to support and grab a few. So currently, hopefully, fingers crossed, if I have this out in the right time, you'll be able to see that she's having a 30% off discount up until I want to say Sunday. I don't know if she's going to have any sale for Cyber Monday. I purchased these normal price, so right now I believe they are currently somewhere around $4 to $5, give or take a few cents here or there. And I believe in her Etsy shop, there's free shipping on orders 35 plus. So anyways, I ordered a total of 6 items, and here's how the box looks like. The front of the box looks really pretty. It almost looks like a vintage postcard that you're sending. There's a lot of stamps, a lot of fun stickers, but here's how it looks like when you open it. So this is the card that she sent along with the order, very festive. And then on the inside, I didn't print out a packing slip, but in the card, she did include her business card. So here is the business card, Angela, and then it has her website, which I know she's currently working on it. So I'm not sure if it'll be ready during the time that I am filming this. And the QR code, I'm not really too familiar with that, but I just wanted to show that just in case. And then also there was a thank you card as well. It says, "Thank you for shopping small this season, XOXO Angela." So that's really cool. And then one thing that I really liked is that the first time that I ordered, the first time I only placed an order for one clamshell, and it was cherry almond pie. I really enjoyed it. And I don't remember if there was a packing slip, but here, let me go ahead and block off my info. But it almost looks like a Christmas list. And then instead of it being just a regular, I guess, Etsy receipt, it has her handwritten what you ordered and then how much it costs. So you can see mine costs anywhere from $6 to $6.50, so less 30% if you are able to catch this before the sale ends. Okay, so since I already opened it, I know that she did include some freebies. So I went ahead and weighed these with the bag, and I think that one sample is good for one use. I personally like using 0.5 ounces of wax to a full ounce of wax when I am melting. So to go on to the first sample, we have Minty Apple of My Eye. I like it that she writes the pour dates as well as the fragrance notes. So for Minty Apple of My Eye, the fragrance notes are pine, fir needles, hints of apple, sweet vanilla, wintry woods, and a splash of mint. With these bags, I got some samples last time, and I thought I had to rip this part right here, but no, you can just keep it pristine and just open it. I don't know if that was just a me thing, but I thought that I had to rip open the bag. Okay, so let me show you how these look like. So these are just some pretty paw prints. So let me go ahead, take some out and tell you what I smell. So I really don't find myself enjoying a lot of apple fragrances, especially Macintosh Red Delicious. But this one smells like a crisp, juicy red apple. I really like it. It also smells a bit clean. I normally don't like mint, but this is the most subtle hint of mint that I feel adds to that outdoorsy feel. I think it's also amplified by the fir needles. So this definitely smells Christmassy, but I think that this would be great when, for example, it's really cold outside and you want to add to that cold weather feel. It almost reminds me of Snow White, not like the original Snow White, but if you were to imagine that, well, a regular juicy red apple in the forest by the frozen snow and stuff, that's what it reminds me of. And I like it that I can detect the mint, but it's not overwhelming. But I think that the fragrance notes that shine the most of this are the pine and the fir needles, and I think that apple just amplifies it. So I think if I were to have smelled this in person, I would have purchased a bigger bag of it. So that is Minty Apple of My Eye. Okay, for the next sample, we have Christmas Memories. Pour date is September 4th, 2024. Fragrance notes are fresh green pine, spicy clove, cinnamon, citrus, cedarwood, caramel, musk. Oh, one thing I also want to note is I believe that all of these are poured and ready to go. So on her Etsy listing and in her videos, Angela mentions that her cure time, I think, is like 3 weeks or a month. And these, since they're all poured in like September or the pour date is very clearly specified, I think they are ready to go if you order them. All right, so let me go ahead and smell Christmas memories. I'm a little bit hesitant on the clove and the cinnamon and the cedarwood because those are three scents that I don't really enjoy all the time. Okay, and this is how the wax looks like, a bunch of different figures and a cute little snowman, and they have like a red hue. So for this one, I definitely do detect the cedarwood, but I like that I still get that like tree scent. I think it's mainly coming from the green pine. I think that one thing that I'm surprised is that I'm not getting more clove, which I personally like, and I'm also not getting a lot of cinnamon. I have a feeling it's being toned down by probably the cedarwood and the pine. And I like that while it has a caramel musk undertone, it's like very, very subtle. I almost can't detect it. I feel like that might be a base note, so it might come out more when I melt it. So I think out of this one and Minty Apple of My Eye, I don't know, I think that apple note in the first one is really special, but this one's really nice and also very Christmas, holiday, winter appropriate. Next scent we have is Vanilla Pine Haven. Pour date is August 20th, 2024. Fragrance notes are fresh pine needles, spicy, cinnamon, vanilla, and cedarwood. So let me go ahead and smell this one and see how it compares. And with this wax, it is a very pale, like green-blue color. It's a little hard to tell in this lighting. So I think when I was initially reading the scent notes, I thought these were going to be a lot more similar, but they do smell very distinct, unique, and they all have their own thing going on. So yeah, this one reminds me of just like a very creamy vanilla pine fragrance. And then I feel like that cinnamon is adding like a little bit of a kick to it, but it's not, I would say, not a red hot cinnamon kick, but more of just a I'm there cinnamon. Okay, going on to the next fragrance, we have Evergreen Serenity. Pour date is September 2nd, 2024. Fragrance notes fir needles, eucalyptus with vanilla, cedar, rich mahogany, green balsam, juniper berries, touched by lemon and lavender. So wow, those are a lot of scent notes. And I feel like this reminds me of like when I got a tattoo and the more colors you add, the like more expensive it is. So I feel like if this was a wax melt that you paid like per fragrance oil used, this would be very pricey because those are a lot of fragrance notes. But let's go ahead and see how Evergreen Serenity smells like. So for these shapes, it's a white color and they're cute little paw prints. Oh, okay, so this one smells very expensive. It reminds me of something that Homeworks or Nest would come out with. I'm not sure if it's that like mahogany that's adding this like level of sophistication to it. And while I don't really like lavender, I feel like I can't really detect it in this too much. And I'm a little bit picky with lavender, but I think it's adding to that slightly manliness of this fragrance. I would say it leans a little bit more like a masculine tree scent, if that's even a thing. The vanilla isn't super detectable. And again, there's like a nice cooling fragrance, and I like the added note of eucalyptus. And yeah, it also reminds me a bit of like balsam candles from Bath and Body Works, but yet more complex. Ooh, this one's really nice. I think if I was hosting a party, I'd probably want this one because it smells very upscale. Okay, so that was it for my samples. Now we're going to go on to the wax melts that I selected. I believe most, if not all except for one, are a part of the holiday collection. It could be that some of these you won't be able to find, but I'll just go ahead and tell you what I think about them. Let's start off with the front. So the front one is Sweet Cherry Pie. Pour date is September 8th, 2024. It has the weight of the wax. Fragrance notes, sweet and tart cherry, brown sugar, flaky pie crust. And here is Angela's logo. Very cute, very pretty. I think I'm definitely going to reuse this bag and maybe like rebag other wax that I have. But let me go ahead and smell this. And the color of this wax is just this like cool light red color. So this one's very fragrant. I know in Angela's video when she talked about each of the fragrances, she said that she wanted to tweak the type of cherry used. So this does smell different than the cherry note in cherry almond pie. Again, I feel like both cherry almond pie and sweet, what's this one? Sweet cherry pie, there's not a super heavy emphasis on the pie crust note. I think that's just personal preference for me. I was expecting this to be a lot more tart and almost like borderline sour. But if anything, this reminds me of those like maraschino cherries that you would find at the grocery store, but not boozy and not with a lot of like high fructose corn syrup or like sugar water. Yeah, so this one's nice. Do I get a lot of brown sugar? No, but there is like a subtle hint of sweetness. And again, the pie crust note to me is on the weaker side, but it still smells very nice, fruity, yet foody at the same time. All right, going on to the next one. It's so funny. I still like my hands because I'm holding the wax with it. I can still smell that like very strong pine fir needle balsam scent. Next one we have Coffee Delight. Pour date is September 22nd, 2024. Let me just bring this a bit closer. Fragrance notes, creamy vanilla, peppermint, fresh, strong, home brewed coffee, hot, sweet caramel, spicy cinnamon, steamed milk, sprinkles of hot cocoa, fluffy marshmallow cream, rich vanilla cupcakes plus brown sugar. Ooh, so many notes. So initially I had this in my cart. I took it out of my cart because I was down between this one and Cup of Cocoa, which I did not purchase. But the reason why I was hesitating is because of the peppermint note in here and the spicy cinnamon. So let's go ahead and see how this smells. Ooh, I think that if you love chocolate plus minty fragrances, this will be right up your alley. This almost reminds me of like a New York peppermint patty, but I honestly haven't had that in years because I didn't like it. But I feel like this is a fragrance that I would find in like See's Candy, which if you don't know, it's like this chain like chocolate, caramel, and just all types of dessert candies. And they have a bunch of peppermint and chocolate combos. I wouldn't say that it necessarily smells like dark chocolate. It reminds me more of like a milky chocolate. And despite the name being Coffee Delight, while I detect the coffee note, I feel like I get more of this hot cocoa borderline chocolate scent. And I think that's because of all of the like fluffy marshmallow, vanilla, and other fragrance notes in here that make me think that, ooh, this is like chocolate. Yeah, so I really enjoy this one, despite the fact that I do pick up on the peppermint. And surprisingly, I don't have a lot of, well, obviously, since I said I don't like mint fragrances, I don't have a lot. And I'm glad I have this one because I can now alternate and be more, I guess, Christmas holiday season appropriate now that the weather is getting colder. So yeah, just one thing to note that if you want like a predominant coffee fragrance, I feel like this one reminds me more of like those holiday beverages also, if not a holiday like peppermint chocolate candy. So yeah, that's Coffee Delight. So I didn't mention it earlier, but Angela's Wax is a soy paraffin blend. So right now my hands are pretty hot for some reason, so I feel like it's melting the wax a little bit. So anyways, this was my wild card, Fluffy Mint Swirl. Pour date August 21st, 2024. Fragrance notes are sweet peppermint, fluffy marshmallow cream, and rich vanilla cupcake. All right, so with this one, I was like, should I try more peppermint scents? Should I not? Let me go ahead and give it a go because it says sweet peppermint, so I'm hoping it's not like toothpaste like because a lot of peppermint fragrances come across to me like that. So here is the pretty shade that I have for Fluffy Mint Swirl. It's just this white snowflake. Right off the bat, the first scent that I get is this very cooling peppermint that's yet sweet at the same time. I feel like it's really toned down by the fluffiness of the marshmallow and the added vanilla. I don't get a ton of the cupcake note. I feel like that might come out more as I warm it, but I'm just glad that this doesn't smell like twisted peppermint. It smells like a very sweet peppermint fragrance note that would be used in, like, let's say baking. It kind of reminds me a bit of the peppermint note that I got from Coffee Delight, although this one's a bit more intense. Oh yeah, so this one's really nice as well. And I like for example, I don't really like a lot of mint scents, so I think with wax, it's really easy to get through melting wax versus a candle. I feel like I'm gonna have to be burning that for a long period of time and then worry about the scent changing if it gets like low throw or duds out in the midway mark. And I think with wax, it's a lot more of like guaranteed good. Next fragrance, we have sweet plus not so subtle. So I believe this is a blend of one of the fragrances that she has listed by itself with the addition of more fragrance notes. So if you can tell, there's a lot in here. So the pour date is September 17, 2024. Fragrance notes are cupcakes at Tiffany's, sweet buttery notes of hints of toffee, tiny hints of chocolate, and a fruity buttercream on creamy vanilla cake. So all that is just what makes up cupcakes at Tiffany's. And then this is the Sweet Millennial Notes or Sweet Millennial Nostalgia. So we have tart cranberry, ruby grapefruit, red peony, Christmas rose, and a light sugary cotton candy. I was very torn whether I should go with this one or if I should go with just the basic Sweet Millennial Nostalgia. But I thought, okay, I like cupcakes at Tiffany's. Let me go ahead and try this blend instead. So for this fragrance, we have cubes and they are this like very pale red color. Let me go ahead and smell this. Ooh, I really like this one. I think this is my favorite so far. I really enjoy that I'm able to detect the cupcakes at Tiffany's. I think if you don't like that fragrance oil, I would say steer clear because it's definitely present. I don't know who wouldn't, but I personally like cupcakes at Tiffany's. For this cupcakes at Tiffany's, I don't know if there's different suppliers, but I get a lot of the cake note and not a lot of the coffee note. I think it's because it's mixing in with that sweet millennial nostalgia. And I think out of all the notes in Sweet Millennial Nostalgia, I would have to say I get more of the cranberry, but it's not necessarily tart like the fragrance notes suggest. I think it's perhaps getting sweeter by the addition of cotton candy to my nose, more complex. I mean, it could be the fact that there are a lot of fragrance notes. I don't get a ton of rose or peony, so the florals aren't super prominent. I would classify this more as like a sweet gourmand scent. Yeah, oh, really excited to warm and melt this one. I think this just shot up in my ranking for my favorite. Okay, moving on to sweet kettle corn. The pour date of this is August 8th. So fragrance notes to this read yellow popcorn, sweet vanilla brown sugar caramel, butter, maple syrup, and a hint of seasoning salt. So with this one, I don't believe this was a part of the Christmas collection. However, I was really intrigued when I saw this and I thought, okay, let me wait to see if Angela drops like a winter collection and I'll add this one if it's still available. It still was. I was a bit worried about the yellow popcorn, but I have a feeling it should be okay because sometimes, like with popcorn fragrances, it gets very realistic, but like movie theater popcorn butter, like my hands are greasy type of thing. So I thought, okay, there are other fragrance notes like the caramel, the butter, it should tone it down, or not the butter, the caramel, the maple syrup, that should tone it down, hopefully. Let me go ahead and smell this one. And for sweet kettle corn, we have these very nice cubes in a, I would say, very light yellow color. So when I smell this, I feel like these are a little bit on the weaker side. I think it's probably because I've been smelling a bunch of like balsam tree, eucalyptus and all that, and peppermint. But I think this reminds me the most of, I would say, lightly salted popcorn, light butter, not a ton of butter. I also get like the subtlest hint of maple, and I feel like that could also be maybe maple and caramel hit like mixed together. And yeah, I feel like this scent is a little bit lighter. Again, my hand has touched a bunch of balsam, eucalyptus, fir, etc. It's not overly caramelized or sweet or anything. So I think if you're a little bit worrisome with sweet, overly gourmand, novice fragrances, this is definitely not it. I'll probably use more wax in my melter for this. And I forgot to mention, but I have warmed Angela's wax in my 25-watt Scentsy warmer and it worked pretty well in that format. However, now I have other wax warmers. I'm going to try and test those out and see where it performs the best. Okay, moving on to the last wax melt, we have lemon drop cookies. Pour date is September 8th, 2024. Fragrance notes are lemon, sugar cookie, plus vanilla. So this one I was really excited yet worried at the same time because I feel like with a lot of lemon gourmand fragrances, I think the idea is always like, oh, please let this be the lemon that I like. I'm pretty open to any type of lemon, where that's cleaner lemon, bright lemon, sugar lemon cookie, lemon pound cake. I like any types of lemon, so I'm curious which one will be used in this one. Okay, and for lemon drop cookie, we have these very cute gingerbread men. They're pretty substantial, so I think one gingerbread man per melter should be okay. And I think for this one, the lemon note isn't super intense. I feel like it's on the lighter side. I think the note that I get the most is the sugar cookie. I do think that the added vanilla is perhaps taking over a bit because the lemon note normally hits you right away because it's typically a top note. But I have a feeling this will be more of like a predominant sugar cookie with a hint of lemon. It smells very yummy, and I can say that it doesn't smell like a cleaner lemon or like a lemon you used for cooking. It just smells like a sugary lemon that you would find, but not necessarily candy like. Alright, so that is everything that I purchased from Boots and Mascara. I would have to say, if you were to ask me which one is my favorite, I don't know if you can tell, but it'd definitely be the sweet, not so subtle. And I think it's because I just really like this sweet millennial nostalgia. And since I already like cupcakes at Tiffany's, I feel like that just makes this a winner in my book. Then again, I like a lot of gourmand fragrances, so I think that's pretty an easy win. Let me see. If I had to choose my least favorite, let's see. I like all of the samples because they smell pretty strong, actually. I think it's because they're like quintessential winter holiday fragrances. So that makes them a bit stronger than my like foodie gourmand fragrances. But I would say it'd be on cold, maybe sweet kettle corn, just because I pictured it being a little bit sweeter. But other than that, I mean, I'm really surprised I like fluffy mint swirl as much as I do because, again, I don't like a lot of mint fragrances. But yeah, that is everything that I ordered. Let me know if you have any questions, and I hope you have a great day. Okay, bye.